you often, which tell you you're having a bad day. And in the same spirit, you know, batsman to bowler, bowler to batsman, I think the one thing that we all try and do actually as players and now as commentators, as you say, it's been a few years now since I've been talking about the game rather than just playing it. But the one thing we have to remember is the effort that goes in, the skill that goes in, the fact that we're all human, so that we do have good and bad days. So if I hit Bish for 4, I would smile, but to myself, not to him. I don't want to anger him. If I get caught slip off Bish, I walk off. And if I see him later, I don't meet him round the back of the dressing rooms like Saviv. You know, there again, I'm not big enough to fight people anyway. But you give credit where it is due. And I think it's a very good thing to remember, actually, as players and as commentators, that there is this very human element to the game.
I think there's an absolutely amazing point. The moment you start focusing on the human factor, as you mentioned, Bish and David, suddenly your perspective on the game as well changes, because you're making an extra effort to know the person now and just not the cricket. Because most cricket is now seen by people, they know what's happening. But if you can just add that little bit of value on the personality, it just gives a fan also a lot of more value. That is fabulous. You know, David Gower, first of all, on behalf of Indians, we thank you, because I believe that in 1983, if you would not have got out in the semi-finals on 17, we probably would have struggled, and Indian cricket changed because of 1983. See, human beings remember the negative. You definitely remember that dismissal.
No, I remember, yes, the semi-final, that 83 World Cup in Old Trafford. And can I just say that, you know, as the lone Englishman in this group, we have done so much to promote world cricket over the last 20, 30 years by allowing the West Indies to become the most dominant side in the world in the 80s, India to win the World Cup in 1983, Pakistan to win the World Cup in 1992. So I feel responsible for the good fortunes of all these great players here. Actually, can I say, in all seriousness, that 1983 World Cup propelled Indian one-day cricket to the heights. And we tried to beat the West Indies before in a World Cup final and failed. I suspect that if we had got to the final, we might have just let West Indies win again. So, you know, for India, you know, for India's, as it were, renaissance or birth, not renaissance, birth in the one-day game in 1983, I'm very happy to take full responsibility.
That is fabulous. I'll come to you, Mohammad Azharuddin, as I said, the flick master. I think you mentioned that 2 bowlers you did not enjoy playing was, I think, Courtney Walsh and Wasim Akram. Courtney Walsh we won't talk about, Wasim we'll talk about, because Wasim is right here. Was Wasim something that you could negotiate, or would you rather?
At times, you know, it was very difficult to really know what he was bowling. Like I remember one incident when we were playing at Lahore in 1989. I was batting, I think some 50 odd, and then Sanjay was batting some 100. So the ball started reverse swinging, and actually we were not really used to playing reverse swing in those days, you know, because I think it happened in 83 when Imran Bhai got 45 wickets or something in those series. But then I was batting at, and Wasim used to be very, very quick, you know. I mean, when, I don't know, maybe it must be at times, I think the quickest spell I've ever faced was one from in Bishop in Antigua in 1989, and lots from Wasim. I think I remember in one of those games he bowled me 4 bouncers. So I had a neck pain for I mean, almost like 2-3 years. But I think in that match, that Sanjay, I mean, like when the ball started reverse swinging, and then Sanjay was the non-striker. So he said, Azu, what I'll do is if I take my left hand out, and the ball will go out. And because at that time, they never used to hide the ball. I mean, after some time, they started hiding. When then Sanjay said, then if I take out my right hand, then it's going to come in. I said, Sanjay, please don't do that. I mean, I will not be able to do anything because he bowls very fast. By the time I look at your hand, then I will be going back and sitting in the dressing room. So I think this is my, that was the biggest story, you know, I had, you know, because then I told Sanjay, and then again when we went back to Sialkot, I think he remembers, you know, it was a very nasty wicket. I think Sachin got hit in that game. So it was one of the fastest wickets we've played. So I've had very good competition. I remember in one game, Wasim, I think in Jaipur I got 100, and then I got hit. I was like blue everywhere. In the drinks time, when he came and asked me, Azu, is it paining? No, I told him it's not paining.
But Azarbhai, Bish talked about the fact that he had, while playing cricket with Wasim gave him some inputs. I believe Zahir Abbas also played some role in you changing your grip or something. There's some story I remember many people telling.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. I'm ever thankful to Zahir Bhai, because I remember, I think I was dropped in that test match. Somebody came and told me that you're not going to play the test match. I was not scoring runs as well, so I didn't feel bad at all. But as we were knocking, and then suddenly Zahir Bhai came towards me and asked me what the problem was. I explained to him all the things, what I was doing, something different, everything. But he said, no, just hold the bat. And he changed the grip a little bit. After that, then I felt very uncomfortable. But then, the late Raman Lamba got injured. He reported unfit on the day of the match, and I played that game. I think I took some 5 catches and then scored 35 and 35 in both the innings. But after that, my game totally changed. Because at times I used to score hundreds and like 250, 260 balls, but then it came to 100, 200, maybe 150 or something like that. So I'm ever thankful to him.
Fabulous. There's so much of exchange that happened between players that we are not privy to. And one player who was great friends with Virender Sehwag was Inzamam ul Haq. And I remember one story which I still laugh at it, Aviru, I want you to tell, because there was some banter going on between you and Inzi, and something happened on the field which was epic. Do share with the audience.
I think I was batting in Bangalore, India-Pakistan game 2005-06, and I was batting 140 odd runs, and Inzi Bhai tried to block my runs. So Danish Kanere was bowling, negative bowling into my legs. And I was just blocking with my leg, and I got bored. So I asked Inzi Bhai, can you bring the mid-on up, long on fielder up? He said, why? I said, I want to hit a 6. He said, you're lying. I said, bring it for one ball. If I didn't hit it, you send him back. So he brought him long on to mid-on. And the next ball, then Danish Kanera bowler hit over the mid-on and hit a 6. And Danish Kanera got pissed off. And he said, Inzi Bhai, what are you doing? He said, you go and keep quiet and bowl there. You don't know what's happening here. So, sometimes, other captains, if you request, he will listen to you and do whatever you want to do. He will allow you to do that. So, Inzi Bhai was the fantastic, captain for Pakistan, and he praised you, and during that match, he'll come to you and talk you there, don't get out, I want to see your batting.
Wasim Bhai mentions in the book very interesting point that Inzamam's running between the wicket was never a problem. His calling was a problem. That's a key difference that you mentioned there. But I think Bish was on a hat-trick once when you were bowling, Wasim Bhai.
Yeah.
He was the reason you didn't get the hat-trick.
Lahore, and obviously our captain dropped a dolly. I couldn't even say anything to him. There was Imran Khan standing at mid-on, and he went like this with one hand. Sorry, Waz, he said, and he dropped a hat-trick, yeah. Those were the good old days.
I actually Googled that footage, and it was hilarious because it was an extremely simple catch. But, Azhar Bhai, I want to get all your opinion on this. You've been part of the commentary panel, and I think before we go to the audience for a few questions, I want to ask this one question about what makes a good commentator. And you, Azhar Bhai, as a coach, have helped a lot of people in their journey towards becoming international cricketers. What is your mantra to be a good commentator or an observer of the game?
I think you have to be a good student of the game, definitely. Personally, because you can't, sometimes players, feel that, what they did, they always want the others to do well. It doesn't happen like that, because everybody plays differently, everybody is bestowed with a different type of talent. So I think the only thing I always felt that as a commentator, I think you have to say what naturally comes to you, and then I think you should be open, and you should be, at times when you have to criticize, but when you have to support the players, you have to support the players as well. So I think what comes naturally to you, and what you see, I think you must say.
I'll go to you, David Gar, and before that, I want your perspective on the modern day game. When I say that, I see a lot of ex-cricketers when we sit down and we have a chat, and they'll be like, there's this inner feeling that we played all the West Indian fast bowlers free of cost, and these guys are making so much money. Do you ever sit down and say, oh man, I was better than this guy?
Of course. I was taught or learnt a lot from one of the best you'll ever come across, the late Richie Bennett. If anyone's watched this game in the last 50 years and listened to Richie, he was the most precise man with words, the most descriptive of commentators. But one of the things I learned from him, actually there's one really good phrase that he taught me early on, which is, please engage brain before speaking. And that is one of the common failings around the world sometimes. You hear some awful shite, to put it politely, or impolitely. But the thing you need to do, I think, is just remember that there are two sides out there. It's fair for all. You remember that human element I was talking about earlier. And you just be honest, as I said, you be honest in this game. And the other thing, the thing I was coming to is that Richie was very good, despite the fact that he was a senior man even then when I first knew him. He was very good at embracing the new in the game. And we've seen millions of changes in the last decade, let alone the last 40 years that I've been involved in this game as a player and as a commentator, 40 plus sadly. So you have to embrace those changes. You cannot be like, well, if you remember your early English history, King Canute trying to hold the waves back of the modern game. You have to embrace it, be part of it, enjoy it, and understand it.
Fantastic. And that brings me to a meeting I had with Richie Benaud, because for us who follow the game, I was like, really wanting to meet him. And I don't get the accent right, but I asked a very typical fan question, who's the greatest batsman in the world? And he said, I never saw Bradman play, but easily Sachin Tendulkar is the greatest I've ever seen. 241 against a mighty leg spinner. I thought was absolutely brilliant. And I really enjoyed, chatted with, even I thought Ian Chappell was somebody who we may not like as an opponent, but was a good student of the game as well. Bish, you did an MBA to become a commentator.
Again, the internet always leads you down the wrong path. I did an MA in mass communications, but every time I go onto the internet and someone sends something to me, I see MBA. So not quite there, but once I stopped playing cricket, I didn't want to have to ride into my next career, and if it wasn't supposed to be broadcasting. Once I stopped playing, I said I wanted to get as far away from cricket as possible, because I didn't want to have to deal with people like myself, moody sportsmen filled with ego. But once I got into it, I said, I want to be qualified. I don't want to ride cricket based on the skill or the history that I had playing. So I went off to do a master's in communications.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, MBA, what a fantastic choice. I mean,
wish it was an MBA.
Because my father pushed me to MBA because I was an average cricketer. Here's an international great, and now he wants to do an MBA. Life changes. Wasim bhai, you are somebody who I consider amongst the geniuses. And the problem with geniuses is they don't understand average cricketers easily, right? And this is a conversation I've had with Sachin Tendulkar, and because he was saying he should have done that, I said, you can do that, he may not be able to. And I think that's a very important aspect in commentary, where you empathize with somebody who may not be at the highest level. Have you managed to do that?
Yeah, I have. I've been doing it for 20 odd years now. I mean, like I said, even in commentary, I had very good mentors / teachers early on. Obviously, I worked for ESPN staff for 10 to 12 years. I mean, first 2 years I was lost. It's quite a hard job. You have to arrive 3 hours before the game. You have to leave 2 hours after the game. The pre-shows, the pitch reports, it's getting worse day by day. So yeah, the focus is very important. I do lose my focus once in a while, but yeah. But obviously I understood in last 10 odd years that what to say, what not to say, watch the screen 80%, because viewers are watching screen, and then watch the game while they are 20%, screen 80%.
Fabulous. You know, I remember 2006 South Africa, like a student of the game, I went to Wasim Akram. I said, Wasim bhai, reverse swing kaise hota hai? Kuch nahi yaar, dal do ho jata hai. And I was like, I'm waiting for a technical, scientific answer. He's not giving me one. But that was a fabulous conversation. And if you read the book again, Imran's technology that he transferred to you in terms of reverse swing was another great story to learn about.
Till 92, it was ball tampering. And then the Brits learned, it became reverse swing.
And that's
sorry, can I just point out, there might have been different words for it. And it had been going on for a lot longer than just 1992, I can tell you. But we actually, no, we tried it one year. We were playing Pakistan in about 1987. And we were realizing that for some reason our bowlers were not making the ball swing in exactly the same way as these guys. And we discussed it and we said, well, sod it, let's try what they're doing and see if it works for us. And at the Oval, Pakistan made, I think, 700 and, I'm not quite here, Javed Mian had 260, and no one got the ball off gun barrel straight. So there is, can I just pay credit where it's due. There is skill with whatever ball you're using. Fair or, no, absolutely fair. There is skill that goes with it.
That was funny. And, you know, that brings me to the 1987 tour. I think Pakistan came to India, and at one point I thought Wasim Akram was bowling leg spinners.
I think, no, West Indies tour in '88, I bowled a couple of overs. And that too against the great Viv Richards, and he got 123. I bowled 2 overs and I said, that's it, I'm not bowling that again.
Coming to you, Viru, you've actually redefined commentary. And why I say that is that for the first time, I remember when Virendra Sehwag retired, I had a conversation with him and he said, Vikram, when I'm on commentary, I want to forget I was a cricketer. Again, something that Bish imbibes. And he said, the problem is of having a baggage as a cricketer, you start speaking like a cricketer. And I need to resonate with the fan. And that's why Virendra Sehwag's sense of humor, which I think is the best in the world, came about. And then obviously when he was batting, he was singing. But then he sang on commentary as well. What was your philosophy of turning into what you were naturally a funny man?
I think when I was watching cricket on television, you know, there are a lot of commentators. Some were praising me, some were criticizing me, but you know, they were actually seeing the TV and telling, oh, it's a good ball, it's a bad ball, it's outside edge, went for third man, single. So, you know, people are watching. No need to tell the same thing. So tell them a good story, tell them a good joke, or tell them something which, you know, they want to listen. So when I joined the commentary box and I was doing in Hindi, my regional language, and I don't want to do it in English because I'm too expensive for everyone except India. So Wasim bhai said that, you know, 3 hours before and 2 hours later, if you charge per hourly, you will get richer. So my funda was to entertain people. And when I was batting, I was entertaining with my 4s and 6s, and now I'm doing commentary. I'll make sure that I know whatever I say, the people will watch the cricket and listen to me and then laugh also in their dressing room or wherever they sit. So simple is that, you know, there are so many commentators who do the same things every day. But if you do something different, if either you give them some information or either some lessons or maybe jokes or maybe good stories. Like, you know, I remember I sat down with Sunny Bhai and I asked him that, I know, Sunny Bhai, how did you play these fast bowlers of West Indies? He said, it was easy. I'm you know, smaller than you, so when they bowl bouncer, I don't need even to duck. It will go over my head, so it was easy for me to. And the moment you listen these kind of stories from greats or from, you know, top players, so people will, you know, glue in front of the TV. So maybe the game is boring, but when the commentators are talking about their stories or you know, some incident, so people will stay and watch that and listen that story rather than watching the TV.
Absolutely. Just add value to the pictures is what great commentators say. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mohammad Azharuddin, Ian Bishop, David Gar, Wasim Akram, and Virendra Sehwag. We have time for 1 or max 2 questions from the audience. If you have a question, please raise your arm and you can address the question to whoever you want. Yeah? 1 here and 1 there. The gentleman at the back.
Okay, the question is to David and Azharuddin, because David started his cricket, at least the younger cricket, in the 70s, and so did Mr. Azharuddin. How much introduction of helmet changed cricket from a bowler's perspective? From what I remember, batsmen were petrified of fast bowlers in the 70s. And come the 90s, they would just step out and hit with no fear. So how much, you know, you played both with and without helmets, how much has that changed?
Yeah, very, very relevant point, the helmet, because there were great players all the way through the history of this game who were aware of fast bowling. And when I say aware of, you know what I mean by aware of. When you have 0.4 of a second to assess what to do next. You run out of time very quickly. And on the times you get it wrong, sometimes it's handy to have a bit of extra protection. I never wore the visor because that felt constricting and claustrophobic. But the one thing that they've always said, always true, from 1880 onwards, you've got to watch the ball and you've got a chance. What's changed, I think, is very straightforward. With helmets and more padding, you see nowadays there are people going out there with arm guards, with chest guards, with more thigh guards than they've got thighs. It's extraordinary. What comes with that is a sort of, I don't know, it's not a fearlessness because your human instinct is still there. You still don't like 5.5 ounces of red leather coming at you at 95 miles an hour, aiming for here. You still don't like it, you have to learn to deal with it, but you have that extra layer of insurance. And I think it's allowed, I mean, one of the great examples for me was Ricky Ponting, who was a great player, but used to come forward at, whether it be Wasim or whoever, would come, and he was quick enough with his hands to still play the hook shot, but he had that insurance. He had a visor here. Even then I've seen it go through the visor and cut him on the cheek. So you never lose that fear. You never lose that respect for the Bishops, the Wasims, the great West Indies fast bowlers, the Marshalls, the Holdings, the Roberts, all those guys at 95 miles an hour plus. You know it's coming. You know at some stage it's going to be mighty, mighty close. And the old expression, sniffing the leather, is still true nowadays, except you have this protective layer. So you have an insurance policy that gets you out of trouble.
Fantastic. You know, there's a cricketer who actually told me that, I would have been uncomfortable with wearing the helmet often because when you don't have the helmet, you're sharper. This is an interesting perspective. Yeah?
वीरू भाई, आपने कहा कि जब आप खेलते थे तो वसीम भाई जब आए इधर, वीरू भाई
लास्ट लेफ्ट में,
तो आपने कहा कि जब आप खेलते थे तो वसीम भाई जब सामने आए तो आपने सचिन से कहा कि आप स्ट्राइक लें. क्या आपको लगता है आज भी कोई ऐसा गेंदबाज है इस समय करंटली, अगर आप आज बैटिंग कर रहे हो तो आप शायद सामने सचिन को बोलेंगे कि आप जाकर बैटिंग करें? क्या कोई है गेंदबाज आज?
नहीं.
So just to reframe the question, yeah, just to reframe, I mean, for people who don't understand Hindi, he actually wanted Sachin Tendulkar to take strike when Wasim Akram was bowling. Is there any bowler in the modern game who he would like to do the same? Sehwag's answer is no. So clearly his respect for Wasim Bhai is extremely high.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for this magnificent legends. We are talking about legends, so we also have amongst us a person who's largely... Sir, excuse me, sir. One group photograph, please. We also have amongst us a person who is largely responsible for the success of DP World. Please welcome on stage Mr. Yuvraj Narayan, Group Deputy CEO and CFO DP World, a title sponsor, to join the legends on stage for a photo opportunity. Round of applause for Mr. Yuvraj, please. Ladies and gentlemen, a final round of applause for Ian Bishop, Mohammad Azharuddin, David Garr, Wasim Akram and Virender Sehwag. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now representatives from the teams actually coming on stage to share a little bit about what their plans are for this DP ILT20 league. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, from the Desert Vipers, Mr. Tom Moody. Put your hands together for Phil Simmons from Dubai Capitals, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Moeen Ali from the Sharjah Warriors. A round of applause for Mr. Venki Mysore from Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne Bravo from the MI Emirates. Round of applause for all these magnificent representatives and players from the 5 teams just now. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Dwayne Bravo. We are waiting for Phil Simmons. Hopefully he'll join us soon. But we'll start, Chairman, I'll start with you, Venki. First, Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. Your captain's not here, but I'm sure you have great plans. As a captain who doesn't speak a lot, I remember many, MS Dhoni once saying that my team meeting should not go for more than 1 minute. I don't like it. With Sunil Narayan, it might be 30 seconds.
Well, I never thought that I would have the opportunity to step into Sunil's shoes, but if he were here, I think the way he would have answered would have been just something like this. Because I remember sending him a long WhatsApp message once about various things, how well he did, he had taken a hat trick and all that, and his answer was this. So that's Sunil Narayan for you.
But how's it looking? How's the league looking for you, and are you excited?
No, it's very exciting because, we've been involved in discussions with Khalid, Mubashir, and everyone. And, it's obviously this is a very unique region. The sort of ingredients that go into making something like this really successful is amazing. I mean, looks like all the stars are aligning. So we're very excited about it. And I think particularly the opportunity that some of the local players are going to get and what is being done for the benefit of the region and for the local players, I hope will be there to see for everybody. So really excited about that.
Thank you so much, Venki. I'll come to you, Dwayne Bravo. How's the Jordan shoes? Everything going good with that? Actually, you have more titles than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I actually do, to be honest. But I don't think I am great as Michael Jordan. I think as a sportsman, all sporting fans, we all respect the work that Michael have done for sports. And I can speak for myself, growing up, he's an idol, and, it's good to be inspired by greatness. I said that in the video to Pollard. And he wanted to know how come I could be playing cricket in Jordans. So.
Fantastic. Dwayne, I wanted to ask you that I think you and Pollard should start a drama company. Because you are the one who got Pollard into T20 cricket. Then you created this whole rivalry amongst you. And then now you're playing cricket with him in this side. I mean, was this the entire drama to increase viewership of T20 cricket? Then you've done a good job.
No, I think with Polly, obviously, I'm his senior. And not only with Pollard, but with all the young West Indian players in the Caribbean, and especially the all-rounders. I just have a special bond with all-rounders because it's difficult as a all-rounder. In a T20 format, it's very handy. You become very handy. So Pollard is someone I see from a early age, his ability to hit the ball, and he has a very unique style of hitting the cricket ball. And yes, I did play a very small part in getting him into Mumbai Indians, and obviously he done what we have done. He have his own legacy, he can stand on his own, and I'm just happy for him and happy for the rest of the players who come through from the West Indies as well. So I'm just a fan of all these guys.
How is it playing with one of your youngest players, Imran Tahir?
It's great to see him still bubbling up and about in the park. He's a quality player class, and I'm really looking forward to, I really shared the field with him with CSK, but now this is a different setup, and we're going to have a competition who's going to celebrate better.
Fantastic. You know, my worry with Imran Tahir is the match is in Dubai, he'll celebrate the wicket and reach Sharjah. That's what, that's what you got to protect. Thank you so much, Dwayne, for sharing your thoughts. I'll come to Moeen Ali, another very stylish English. Yeah, Phil Simmons is here. Round of applause for Phil Simmons to join us, please. From the Dubai Capitals, Phil Simmons, please. That brings me to Moeen Ali, very stylish left-hander, somebody who, you know, sometimes I feel that he's done so much in cricket, but he still doesn't smile. I'm waiting for this tournament. There you got it. Round of applause for Moeen Ali. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, a World Cup winner, I mean, in all formats. Round of applause for him as well. You know, looking at this tournament, Moeen, as the captain of the team, you have a lot of English players, you can bond it, the strategy might already be in place, but how do you look at this tournament?
Obviously, first of all, we're obviously here to win and do well as a franchise and a team, and then, you know, play some exciting, good cricket, but the real important thing is to produce those UAE players and hopefully make cricket strong in UAE at the same time and bring those players through, and I think that's really, really important, but obviously, to play well first and win and try and win the trophy.
Fantastic. You know, I'll blame the internet again, but apparently you had once said that when you retire, you want to start a chips retail outlet.
That was before, when I was younger. Yeah, I enjoyed fish and chips. So yeah, but not anymore.
Now you don't need to start this outlet. You can be an investment banker. Tom Moody, somebody who knows the game inside out, has seen this format, like, I mean, knows at the back of his hand. Somebody who's, you know, players always talk about Tom Moody as the strategist who knows what's going to happen in the next over. Take us through your thoughts for your wonderful team.
Oh, firstly, it's, you know, it's a tournament we're very excited to be involved with. You know, there's a lot of high-quality players, a lot of high-quality administrators involved, and also owners. So, you know, it's a privilege to be involved in a start-up tournament like this in a region where cricket has got rapid growth and a huge amount of potential. And I think a tournament like this is only going to help develop and fast-track that talent, and we certainly hope to play an important role that at Desert Vipers to be able to help you know, progress the game here in the UAE. Yeah, we, like all the teams in this tournament, hoping to be very competitive and be playing at the back end of the tournament, but also respect that there's a lot of talent here. You know, every franchise has done a terrific job in their recruitment. We've got a lot of world-class internationals here, and we've also got the best of the UAE that are going to be playing alongside those international players. So we're excited. Our team is practicing at the moment. We've got a practice game, so hence Colin Munro, our captain, isn't here, and I'm rolling back the years and wearing the captain's hat.
Yeah, absolutely. And Colin Munro, we all know, can hit long sixes, and especially in the deep square leg region, he as well, with Mohammad Azharuddin, to note that he's also, there's a very funny story about him that his mother used to make sure that he hit sixes there. So I wish he was there to answer that question. Coming to you, Phil Simmons. Dubai Capitals, another fantastic team. And this is to you and Tom, and this is something that we discussed in the commentary panel as well, that the cricket that you played and now you adapting your coaching styles for the modern day game, guys who play shots that probably we wouldn't have imagined in our lives. How do you connect with this younger lot, and what's your game plan for this wonderful league?
First of all, I must say it's great to be here and part of this inaugural league here. And as Tom said just now, I think this will do so much for UAE cricket on the whole. It's about, for me, it's about getting the players in your squad to enjoy the game out there. For me, the only way you enjoy the game is by using your skills and being confident enough to use your skills. And we as coaches have got to make sure that everybody in our team is doing that, and we're heading in the right direction. And I think that's our part in the tournament.
And just to further that question, Tom, I mean, the cricket that you played and then you go into understanding the mind of the younger players, how difficult is that, even from a coach's standpoint?
I think the most important thing from a coaching perspective is to be a good listener. particularly this day and age. The players have brought up in a different environment than what we were brought up in. You know, we didn't play T20 cricket. All the young players coming through now, they know every single game. They've watched every single game. They know all the new tricks. They practice them. So I think it's important that, one, we are good listeners, and two, we are prepared to let them explore their game and allow them to play with that freedom.
Absolutely well said. There's two things that come out from what the earlier panel also said. Be a good human judge and be a good listener. I think on that note, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all the 6 teams. There's a time for a couple of questions from the audience before we call it a day. If there are any questions to any team members, you have 10 seconds. Otherwise, we give them a round of applause. Yes, anybody this side? Yes, no question? So basically, they are very happy with your presentation, that you all are ready for the round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, for Tom Moody, I'd like to request you to please stay on stage. From the Desert Vipers, Phil Simmons, Dubai Capitals, Moin Ali, Sharjah Warriors, Venki Mysore, Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, and Dwayne Bravo from the MI Emirates. So round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. For the final photograph, for the final of today's evening, I'd like to invite on stage once again Mr. Khalid Al-Zaruni, if you can join us on stage. Mr. Mubashir Usmani. Can we have this photograph, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on stage. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the grand finale is an anthem that was created for the DP ILT20 League, DP World ILT20 League. I want you to see the anthem, and then we have a special guest on stage to talk about the anthem. There we go.
Best of the best, you know. From the best to the test, you know. Lights are bright, just say hold a cricket festival. Get up and keep on moving. Get up and hit the shot. Get up, don't stop the music. Honne re halla, 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 halla. Honne re halla, 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 halla.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is India's #1 rapper and also the first Indian rapper to create a world record of 75 million views on YouTube in 24 hours in 2019. He has produced super hits like Jugnu, Kala Chashma, Garmi, Let's Nacho, and many more. He is also a creator of Halla Halla, the official anthem for the DP World ILT20 League, which has got the world grooving to its feet. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Bacha!
रश है नस नस में लगे कुछ नहीं अब बस में उठने वाला है एक तूफान जूतों की फीते लगे कसने बूम जब चलेगा हल्ला मचेगा शोर
Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to clap. Start clapping, ladies and gentlemen, before Badshah comes. Come on, we can do it better. Put your hands together. Come on, keep clapping, ladies and gentlemen. 10, 9,
get up and hit that shot. Get up, don't stop
7,
the music. Honne re halla.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again. Keep clapping, keep clapping. For Badshah.
जब फेस करे रन चेस करे तो करे खराबी हड़कान किसी ना चेहरे पे ना फिक्र जरा भी हम मार गया चाल शेर सी काट नवाबी best of the best you know but the best of the test you know
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the number one rapper, Badshah.
Get up and keep on moving get up and hit that shot get up don't stop the music honne re halla
That was a fabulous anthem. We've been waiting for you. We just want to know what went through your mind while creating this wonderful anthem and how did you do it?
Oh, it was a huge responsibility. And of course, the huge amount of money paid to me. But
all the commentators talked about honesty, so good job done.
Yeah, I mean, you are given the job to make an anthem for definitely the biggest league in the Middle East and probably soon to be the biggest league in the world. You can imagine the pressure.
Sport is about pressure, so get it.
Exactly. No, but it helps. Being a sports person helps. And I'm happy with what I made. Definitely.
Fantastic. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this fantastic anthem. Last question, you talked about sports. There's nobody in India who's not played cricket in their school and college.
जी.
आपने भी खेला होगा कहीं ना कहीं किसी लेवल पे. What were you, fast bowler?
Keeper.
That's a fantastic one. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Badshah for this fantastic anthem.
Thank you so much.
Like to request you to please stay on stage.
Yeah, sure.
Picture.
Okay.
Thank you.
एक रश है नस नस में लगे कुछ नहीं अब बस में उठने वाला है एक तूफान जूतों की फीते लगे कसने बूम जब चलेगा हल्ला मचेगा शोर भाई कैच पकड़ना मैच छलक जाए हाथ से बॉय बाजी मार जा चाहे शार जा चाहे दुबई मैदान में और जान लगा और कर दे दबाई get up and keep on moving.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the final picture, I'd like to request Mr. Khalid Al-Zaruni to please come on stage. Mr. Mubashir Usmani to please join us on stage for the final picture. Mr. Abdullah bin Damitan also to join us on stage. Mr. Yuvraj Narayan to join us on stage. I'd like to request Mr. Rahul Johri from Z to also join us on stage. Dr. Kamali, request you to join us on stage. Mr. Zaid Abbas also to please join us on stage, gentlemen. With the special trophy, ladies and gentlemen, here is the final photograph. I want you to give a huge, huge round of applause for the DP World ILT20 League. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. Dinner served. Rahul, please, for the photograph. There you go. The final round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Dinner served. My name is Vikram Sate. Absolute pleasure to have you for the DP World ILT20 League. Thank you so much.
लगे कुछ नहीं अब बस में उठने वाला है एक तूफान जूतों की फीते लगे कसने बूम जब चलेगा हल्ला मचेगा शोर मैं कैच पकड़ना मैच छलक जाए हाथ से बॉय बाजी मार जा चाहे शारजा चाहे दुबई मैं तान में और जान लगा और कर दे दबाई get up and keep on moving get up and hit that shot get up don't stop the music होने रे हल्ला 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 होने रे हल्ला 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 हल्ला
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you so much.
बॉल करा ऐसी देखे पूरा अबू धाबी जब फेस करे रन चेस करे तो करे खराबी हड़कान किसी ना चेहरे पे ना फिकर जरा भी हमार गिरती चाल शेर सी ठाठ नवाबी best of the best you know put the best to the test you know lights are bright जैसे हो रहा cricket festival get up and keep on moving get up and hit that shot get up don't stop the music होने रे हल्ला